that you're playing against a human player who wants you to lose. If you do max, then you're playing against your uncle who wants you to win. And you do expectimax if you're playing against nature. You do expectation for the nature, max for you. Same ideas. And in fact, the ideas of should I go deep or not, and if I go deep, will my value, my direction I choose to walk, is that going to be better? That too is connected to the argument of traps. Because there could well be terminal nodes even from anywhere. For example, there was a terminal node here. And that was a trap. And that allowed you, and if you take that into account in backing up, you would be able to realize that while there is a good guy here, by expectation there is also this huge negative thing is coming. Okay? So, what we just talked about has a name. It's called real-time dynamic programming. And if you look up Google Scholar, you will see it has a ton of citations. And it was only basically found out in like 80s. That's like the obvious thing. Of course, I'm sour grapes, I didn't do it, I'm not getting citations. But the point is that you don't want to think that something that's been done is impossible to do, impossible to understand. It may well have been impossible to do because obvious stuff don't get done right away, the way humanity goes. But just because it took a long time for somebody to figure that out doesn't mean you should take just as much time to understand it. So it's a much simpler idea, essentially. This is pretty much the obvious thing you do. Okay, that's called real-time dynamic programming. And it turns out real-time dynamic programming is a way of doing online solution for Markov addition processes. And it also, since we are into throwing buzzwords left and right, real-time dynamic programming is an online solution to reinforcement learning. What is reinforcement learning? Reinforcement learning is solving Markov addition processes without taking the full model into account. Either because you don't have the model, in which case you have to learn it, or you are too lazy to look at the full model, which is what is happening in this online competition. Okay? So, we were happy a couple of classes back, we had A-star search going for us, then slightly unhappy because we had a opponent. Now everything just blew open because this opponent can be a nature, and in fact, the ideas of online computation can also be used. Essentially, basically they are connected to reinforcement learning. We will talk about that. But going forward, notice also, by the way, that I think of the value of the node. And in fact, the word value has a technical meaning in Markov addition processes. Remember, the value iteration was computing the true backed up value for each node. And if you know the true backed up value for each node, you know the policy. And you shouldn't be surprised at all. If I tell you at this very level, the true backed up value for this state is 5, this is 7, and these probabilities are known, then I know the true backed up value for this direction. And if I know the true backed up value for this direction or the true backed up value for this direction, I know which action to take. Unless I started having questions in the last minute saying, do I really want to win? I feel bad for the other guy. Right? So if you then basically, if you know the value, you can convert it into policy. This stuff is important because when we look at Markov addition processes, you will talk about value iteration, you will talk about policy iteration, and you will see that value and policy in the optimal level, they are essentially duals of each other. If you give the optimal policy, you can compute the optimal value. If you give the optimal value, you can compute the optimal policy. And you can do even crazier thing. If I give you a policy, you can convert that policy into a value and using that value improve the policy and keep doing this. That's what is called policy iteration. Again, I'm jumping way ahead, but just to make you understand that all of these are connected. The last thing I want to do today is, in addition to playing with the nature, you're also playing with an opponent. This is what you do when you have games with the dice rolling. How many of you have played snakes and ladders? Remove the dice from the snakes and ladders. In fact, we should have a meme going saying snakes and ladders without dice. That's like the happy game to play for people without brains. Right? Okay? So the dice essentially in the snakes and ladders is the solitaire. Essentially, solitaire with dice. So it's actually snakes and ladders is a game against nature. And maybe your own brain. Because if you don't know that if there's a ladder, you should take the ladder, then God help. Okay? But in some other games, you throw the dice, then dice tells you what moves you can make, you pick one of those moves, and then the opponent basically can do whatever they want. Many games are like that. There, you do essentially one more layer. So here's max layer, here's a chance layer, here's a win layer. So we just name a thing called nature plus opponent is expect minimax. Okay? So that's basically all that we're going to do about game tree. According to last year I stopped here, so I'll stop here. Okay?